Hello all, welcome to Selenium Python Training Series. In this session, I am going to explain and practically demonstrate how to use hooks. So let's get started. So how to use hooks? There are several hooks. Okay, in this BDD behave, there are several hooks. If you want to find out the different hooks that are there in BDD behave, you can either Google search or go to ChatGPT, whatever it is. Just let me show you. If you already have an account here, you can simply search different hooks in PDD behave presenter. So there are scenario hooks. Okay. So here you see one of the scenario hook is here, that is before scenario, which is listed down here. So apart from scenario, we have after scenario. This before scenario will run before every scenario. After scenario will run after every scenario. Then we have before step. Then we have after step. Okay, before scenario, after scenario, before step, after all these bold things. Then before feature, after feature, before all, after all. This kind of many hooks are there, but we'll not use everything. I'm going to demonstrate only few hooks, that is before scenario, after scenario for now. Okay, so before scenario will run before every scenario. For example, here in this only one scenario is there. I can create one more scenario and implement the steps, and then we can implement the before scenario and after scenario hooks. I can demonstrate that then. Okay, so to demonstrate this, I need multiple scenarios. Okay, to demonstrate this before scenario, after scenario, I need to have multiple scenarios in this feature file. At this moment, only one thing is there. I'm going to create one more one. Search for an invalid. I will not take much time. I am on the application homepage is same. I enter invalid product. This step will differ. Invalid product. I click on the search button is same, and here proper message should be displayed in search results page. Okay, so a few steps are common. Two of the steps in this scenario are common with the first step, matching with the first step, and remaining two are not, are new ones. Okay, now what we'll do here is we'll run this feature and to see what are the steps that are not what are steps that are not implemented. And also in this session, guys, I already told you in the previous session, along with the hooks, I'll show you how to make the print statements to work. Okay, in the earlier session, right, the print statements were not printing any output in the output. So now I'm at the end, I'm going to show you how to get them printed. Okay, so apart from the hooks, I'm going to cover that also, but for now, let's focus on before scenario and after scenario hooks that I mentioned here. Before scenario and after scenario hooks, let me cover that first. So what I will do is to get the unimplemented steps here, there are 8 steps, 4 here, 4 here. But here 2 of the steps are a duplicate steps, you can say. And on the application homepage is same as I'm on the application homepage. You don't have to implement this step again because it's already implemented as part of the previous scenario. But this one is a new step for which implementation is required, that will come in the output. Proper message should be displayed also. Is a new step. For that also step definition code will come. Okay, auto generated in the output. Okay, so simply go here and say CLS and run the command behave features. Give the name of the package under which this feature file is available or feature files are available. Press enter. You see, unimplemented 2 steps, new steps for the new two new steps. Okay, brand new 2 steps are there. Right, for that implementation came. Copy this and you have to go to this search.py here under the steps and here paste it. Just paste it. That's it. Just give a space, extra space, done. Enter invalid product and search box. Here also, let's replace this with print statements. Print. I'll simply say inside. I enter invalid product into the search box field. Okay. Here also, remove this statement and in place of that, write down print inside proper message should be displayed in search results page. Okay. Like this. Now we have implemented all these steps in the feature file in the step definition file. Okay, so that's good. So what next then? Next is, let me run this. First of all, let me run this to see whether all the 8 out of 8 steps are running or not. Okay, so I have to run behave space features, name of the package. You see, total 8 steps got passed. 8 out of 8 steps got passed. That's good. Now, let me demonstrate this before scenario and after scenario hooks. Okay, these are, you have to give the exact names. Okay, you should not modify the names. So here, write down, go to the step definition file, that is Python step definition file here, somewhere here on the top or anywhere you can in this particular Python. I prefer on the top. So I'll say def before scenario, exact name you have to give. Here, write down context. Okay, and followed by, you don't have to write driver now. Driver is not required. Once we go into Selenium and all, we need the driver. But for now, context is enough. And after that, in this, we'll write a print statement. Okay? Saying before scenario. Okay, inside before scenario. So the main intention of this hook is this method will run before every scenario. Here, how many scenarios are there? This scenario. Before this scenario gets executed, this method will run. That's the purpose. Okay. So what kind of things you have to, in Selenium automation, what kind of code you have to put here? Pre-site code. For example, opening the browser, maximizing the browser. Okay. Opening the application URL. Till there, you have to put the code inside this before scenario. And in these steps, okay, navigating to home page, all the action items and all those things will be there. This is before scenario. And once the scenario is completed, we need to close the browser, right? We have to log out from the application and close the browser. Such kind of post or ending activities need to be put under another hook. Okay, so another hook, that is def after scenario. Okay, after scenario will run after every scenario in the feature file. After every scenario gets executed, at the end, the after scenario hook method will be executed or run automatically. Print inside hyphen, give hyphen here also. After scenario, we write down after scenario. Done. We have written two hook methods here. Okay. So that's good. Now, if I run this, for now, already there is one problem. Okay. We now conceptually know that this before scenario is going to run before every scenario. Okay. For this, before this scenario, and there are two scenarios. So before this scenario, this one will be executed. And before this scenario also, before scenario will be executed. After scenario will run after every scenario. After the scenario completes, this after scenario method will run. And after this scenario completes, this after scenario method will run. That's the concept that you understood. But if I run this, you'll not get this output. Okay, there's a problem with the output, right? Print statements are not printing. From the in the previous session also, they are not printing. Here also it will not print. We have a hack for that. I'll show you that. Behave space features. None of these print statements are printed. You see, nowhere the scenarios got run and everything is passing and all, but these print statements like inside containing print statements are not getting printed. So how to overcome this problem and how to get the print statements to work? For that, I'll be creating one more hook method. Okay. With the help of this hook method, I'll make all the print statements to work. So what I will do here is I'll write down def after step. Okay. After step, here provide context, say comma step, this colon, these two arguments you write down, and here provide print. That's it. This print you have to mention here. Okay. This is the first step you have to take for this print statement to get printed. This first step, you have to write this. So after step will run after every step. After every step in this particular scenario, the after step method will run. Okay, and it will make sure that the print statements will run. Now, one more thing is that you have to create behave.ini directly under the project. Okay, right click on the project to get this print statements work. You have to create a file known as, directly under the project, create a file known as behave.ini file. And in this behave.ini file, you will write some statements to make or to tell behave BDT tool to make or to get these print statements printed in the output. Okay. So what are the things that you have to write down here? These are the things you have to write. Square bracket, in that mention behave. After that, under this behave category, write down these things. std output capture is equal to false. std err capture is equal to false. I'll just copy paste this one. These are the three items. std out underscore capture is equal to false. std err underscore capture is equal to false. Log underscore capture is equal to false. These three things you have to mention. Now close everything and just run this feature file to see what's happening this time after performing that extra hook we created after script hook, and after that we created this behave.ini file directly under the project with that instructions. Okay, so clear. Now say behave space features. Features. Just drag this up so that output will be more visible. Now you see this time the print statements are working, right? So let's see what's happening. These two scenarios got run, right? These two scenarios got run, and for every step you see inside, I'm on the application homepage. Inside, I enter valid product. These print statements are not getting printed here. Okay, print statements are now getting printed here inside, but I am not able to prove you how this, you know, this before scenario and after scenario, because this is only mentioned for after step. This print is only mentioned for the after step. But what about this before and after? That is not there. How to get that? Let me show you. So instead of showing you how these print statements in this before scenario and after scenario are working, the main intention that I have to showcase here is when they will get executed, right? It's not, we should not be worried about these print statements. Okay, anyhow, the print statements in this individual step definition steps are working. Okay, but here the print statements in the before scenario and after scenario are not getting printed still after doing all the stuff. So to prove you that this before scenario and after scenario are kind of working before and after every scenario. So what I will do here is, here I'll try to open a Chrome browser in Selenium, and here I would like to close the browser in the Selenium. Okay, that proves that, right? So for every scenario, the browser should open. Before the scenario runs, the browser should launch. And after the scenario completes, the browser should close. For this scenario also, before the scenario starts, browser should open. And at the end of the scenario, the browser should close. How to get that possible? Here, I'll write some Selenium code, that is WebDriver dot, but you cannot import this WebDriver because Selenium is not currently installed in this project. So I'll go to, I'll select this project, select file, select settings, quickly go to the projects, Python interpreter, click on plus, and here I'll say Selenium. I'll just type Selenium. I got the Selenium selected here, click on install package. Selenium will get installed. Once it is installed, I can write the code. I can easily write and import the Selenium code. So I'm just only using the Selenium code for demonstrating how the before scenario and after scenario works. Before every scenario gets executed, browser should launch. After every scenario completes, browser should close. Okay. So that's the main intention. Okay, it's still installing. Selenium is still installing. You should get a green color confirmation message here after it gets installed. Yeah, it got installed successfully. Now close this and say, okay, Selenium successfully installed. Here I'll write down now hover the mouse on WebDriver, and now we can import WebDriver. It's not WebDriver dot. I think it's coming still. Discovering binary modules and all. 1 minute. Over the mouse. Now you got. It took a while. That's okay. Now you say WebDriver.Chrome. This will launch the Chrome browser. Okay, this will launch the Chrome browser. And here it should return you the driver. And this driver should not be written like this. You have to use this context. Okay, I'll explain more about the context later. But instead of self keyword, we have self keyword in the general previous sessions, right? We in this before scenario, we got the context. With the help of context, we can pass the driver to other methods. Okay, context.driver can be accessed anywhere in these methods. That's the intention. Here I'll write down context.driver dot quit. I mean dot quit or close, whatever it is. Okay, that's it. And it will be so quick because these are just print statements, right? So just to make sure that you understand, I'll just give time dot sleep of 3 seconds. Okay, so that you'll see before browser opening and closing, right? There will be some time to close, and also these print statements will be printed. Now just go here and say CLS and see whether the before scenario is running before every scenario, after scenario is running after every scenario. So simply say behave space features. Press enter. Okay, what's the problem? Okay, before scenarios are not running, right? Sorry, here I have to write scenario after scenario. This is search I have written. This is one mistake. And what is the other mistake? If before scenario context. Okay, so and here I need to, yeah, that's it, I guess. Let's see. This time, behave features. Still the same thing is happening. I'm not able to demonstrate you the before scenario and after scenario here. Let me show you. So as this hook methods are not working, right? There is a hack again. Okay, for this hook methods to work, there is a hack. So instead of putting these hook methods in every step definition file tomorrow, for search.feature file, you have search.py file. For register.feature file, register.py. Every feature file, you should not duplicate this hook methods. Okay, these hook methods are common for all the feature files. So in that case, let's not put this. It's not the right place to put this hook methods in individual step definition files. Rather, we are going to create a centralized file. Okay, I'm going to show you that. So that centralized file name is environment. Okay, environment.py file. Okay, Python file. So instead of putting these hook methods, since they are not working anyhow in this step definition, step definition file here, that is search.py file. One is working, remaining two are not working, right? To make sure that they are working for each and every scenario in each and every feature file. This is not the right place. Let's move that to one file. Okay, first let's create that file. So right click on the features and create a Python file directly under the features package. Create a Python file. We generally call this as centralizing the hooks. Okay, this concept we call it as centralizing the hooks. So how to centralize the hooks, I'm going to show you. First, we have to create environment.py under the features package. So environment.py. You don't have to give .py because you're selecting Python file here. Now you simply have to move this three hook methods. Okay, three hook methods. You just move that into the this file. Okay, three hook methods. You just move into the environment.py file, and here remove the gaps. Only two gaps you put, and all the hook methods are now moved to environment.py file. You already know about this hook method. This hook method need to run before every scenario gets executed. This hook method need to run after every scenario gets executed, and this one after every step. So you can implement more, but this much are enough for now. Import this name from Selenium and import this time from just time Python. Okay. Now, after you move these hook methods into the centralized file, that is environment.py file, now run the things, run this feature file to see whether before every scenario, as mentioned in the before scenario hook method, the browser is launching or not. Okay, after that, after a delay of 3 seconds, after scenario gets executed, the browser should quit. And for the second scenario also, this scenario before scenario code should run where browser should launch from Selenium, and after scenario gets executed, the browser should quit. Let's see whether that is happening. Here I'll type the command behave space features as usual. Okay, press enter. Let's see what is happening. You see now it's launching the browser. That is before scenario got executed. You can see here the print statements. You see print statements got printed for every step. After that, the browser will get closed. Browser got closed already. Okay, again, browser got opened. All the print statements got printed. This is working fine, right? So the hook methods are working fine now. Before scenario and after scenario hook methods are working perfectly fine now. So hope guys you understood how to use hooks. Okay, how to use hooks as before scenario, after scenario, how to make the print statements to work in the steps of the scenarios, and how to centralize the hooks and make the before scenario and after scenario methods or hooks work. Okay, in this session. So in the next session, we'll cover parameterizing the steps and all. How to parameterize the steps I'm going to cover in the next session. Okay, so that's all for this session. So see you in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye.